Hello everyone, welcome back to Recursive Gaming and another episode in Iron Saga, the A-Rank only challenge, episode 3 I believe. And here we are at the end of chapter 10. We are going to try battle number 6 for the first time. We didn't start having problems with the team that we had at the end of the previous episode until we got to chapter 10. And chapter 10 we started to fail every now and then, took multiple tries to complete some battles. So we are having some trouble now with our current team here in Chapter 10. So we're going to try Chapter 10, finish this last battle, and hope that our team can do it. But you're going to see how much we're struggling now. And I'm going to take you through the upgrade process and the next step of where we're at. Gonna make sure you guys get a chance to see all the progression, all the choices for the mechs and the gear and the pilots. As we progress through these story modes. Every time we encounter difficulty, we need to bump up our team and make it better. I'm going to include you guys in that decision-making process so you can see the progression and you can see the choices I make to progress and get past portions of the story when it starts to get more difficult and we're encountering difficulties. So I'm going to show you guys all that. All I've done so far is main story mode. I've progressed as far as I can in the main story mode. We are here in chapter 10. Looks like we're not having any problems at all. So if I'm wrong and we complete this without any problems at all, which it's looking like we're going to be able to, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and continue into chapter 11, and we'll do chapter 11, maybe chapter 12. The next time I start having problems, I'll get you guys involved and we'll continue the video from there. So that actually wasn't too bad at all. Let's continue on until we get to the next part where we encounter some problems. But first, we're going to do the Noisy Bat challenge. This is another reason I wanted to start the next episode here. If we can get a pet reward from this, then that'll be some nice proof for you guys who are watching that it's worth doing the challenges in every chapter because you get some nice possible upgrades, including some free pets, which is always really good. Okay, so we were able to do that without too many problems. And we did not get the pet, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and claim this, and I will include you guys if we encounter some more problems in Chapter 11. Okay, well, it didn't take us long to run into a problem. Here we are in Chapter 11, Battle 1, and we just failed. So let's try this again. Even if we succeed, it should be close enough to where you guys can see that I'm having some problems with my current team, and I need to upgrade it. Oh, let me turn the sound back on. Okay, here we go. I keep it muted so I can concentrate on other things while battles run in the background. Alright, so I'm actually going to try and take control a little bit and make sure that we're using our abilities at the right time. If it doesn't do it on automatically. But it looks like it's doing it automatically. So our main unit is this guy. I'm going to make sure I grab this attack buff. There we go. And I'm going to grab this immunity buff. There we go. So he's now buffed with attack and damage immune for a little while. Golden mode. Actually, it's not damage immune. Golden mode is not damage immune. Golden mode is just increased attack and immune to crowd control effects. So it looks like because I managed to grab those buffs, we completed this. And I didn't... Actually, I only lost one unit. But as you saw, my units were getting pretty low. Let's go ahead and continue. I'll get you guys in, and I'll make sure you guys can see us fail one, and you can see how bad we need to upgrade our units. Okay, so here we are. We lost again on Battle 4 in Chapter 11. Let's try it again, see if we lose. Alright, we're going to get some Hellcats and a Hellcat support type. Yep, they're pretty strong A-Rank missile mechs. They have a lot of good explosive and fire damage. And my units are all bundled up down here in the corner, so they're not evading. Pretty easy to hit. That's part of the problem probably, is my units all are ranged. I don't really have any melee mechs at the moment taking aggro and then spreading everyone out over the screen. So with all of my AI being ranged, they tend to bunch up down here at the bottom, which is bad because they're easy to hit. So I already lost one unit. Let's see. I have a feeling I'm already doing better than I did last time, but it is looking kind of hopeless. No, no. Lucky so far. The Achilles is very tinky, so the Achilles, nope. There we go. This, I think that's an S-rank Hellcat. Anyways, as you can see, we do need to upgrade our units. We can't progress any further in the story. Let's go ahead and see what we have access to. Let's get some upgrades. Okay, so we have a couple of beginner missions to collect, which is good. Now we have enough super vouchers that we can actually pull on the banners and see if we get anything good. That should be pretty exciting. Not like we're going to use it, but when I do give this account away after the end of the video series for the A-Rank challenge, if it's got mechs that anyone likes, then hey, it'd be pretty nice. I need to upgrade an SSS class to unit to 6-star to upgrade, or to unlock the next set of missions, I think. Okay, so those are all claimed. First, let's go to the novice mech, or mech market, and use some diamonds. See if we get a nice A rank. No, we got an S rank Raven. Can't use it. That is useful as development for getting the Albatross, one of the better mechs for beginner players, because it's like a direct upgrade to the Seagull, but it's an S rank plane, so it's pretty nice. Let's go ahead and get our affinity up with these. Oh, look, see, this is exactly what I was talking about. You come here and you always check gift, but you only use the gift if it gets you extra affinity. It's definitely worth it. I got lots of affinity with Archduchess Anne. If she shows up and I can do that about 3 or 4 more times, then I will have a brand new pilot. So let's see if we can complete this. I have a feeling we're going to run into some problems, but we'll try. Come on, team. No, we're doing well so far. We have a level advantage of 1 level, and yeah, we're not having any problems. They had S-rank units, but that doesn't matter. We do have a good team. We did build a pretty good team. We had to use what we had, but we used what we had pretty well. So we'll check this to see if it refreshed. I don't see any A ranks that I can pick up. I do need the primal energy cores, but I'm going to wait until I get that quest again. So that way I make sure I get progress on that quest. Let's see here in the coin shop. Really nothing good in the coin shop. Okay, so I think that's about it. Let's go to items and see what we have to use in our items. We have enough super vouchers now. We can use 6. Just want to make sure we're pulling on the right banner. This one, it progresses for free. In 19 hours, about 20 hours actually, I'll be able to progress this again. So it makes sense actually to pull on these. These are the more limited banners. I would love to have the Zinzuke, but I get a free copy of Dunkaga, or Dankuga, sorry. Dankuga from the event that we still need to do within the next 9 hours. Or it's going to lose this opportunity. So I'm going to pull on High Market 2. High-end Mecha Market 2, and I'm going to do it 6 times so I can make sure I get the pity. Okay, here we go. Alright, we go to use. We choose Mecha Market 2, and we use 6. Let's see what we get, guys. No good. That's decent. That's decent. We got a Bloody Wolf 7. That's it, guys. We did not get anything that was any good, really. Unfortunately. Alright, so let's continue unlocking stuff. Achilles parts chest. Okay. What's this? Supposedly we're supposed to put these on the Achilles? Alright. Interesting. Ooh, that was super lucky. Oh my gosh, that is so lucky. Look at this. Oh my god, we got a transmission core. That's a very nice purple item. That is incredibly lucky. That's why you come in here and do this, guys. All right, so we're going to tidy up. I have to sell off some of this stuff. This is a good opportunity to tell you guys what's worth keeping and what's worth selling. Always sell off these gray items. These are not worth keeping. I mean, once you've, given yourself so many more parts capacity that you can keep whatever you want, that's up to you. But for now, when you're you know, needing the space, delete the gray stuff. It's not worth keeping. However, it is worth keeping 1 copy of every green and blue item. I would suggest keeping at least 1 copy of every green and blue item. So I'm looking for duplicates now, so that way I can get rid of the duplicates. You only need 1 copy of every green and blue. And that's for doing retrofit quests, which I can show you later. I can't do it yet. I don't have it unlocked. It's quite high level. I think it's like level 28 or something like that. Okay, so we didn't create that much room. It costs quite a bit of diamonds, quite a few diamonds to upgrade the parts capacity, but that is a high priority. I do need to upgrade my parts capacity. This gets annoying coming in here and deleting stuff, or selling stuff, I guess. But you do want to keep 1 copy of every green and blue. I'll show you where it's at. Here's develop. We unlocked this, but I forgot to show it to you. Here's Mecha Develop, guys. This is where you use those recipes I was talking about. They refresh every single day, and it's random what comes up, and you can get recipes here to get nice units. Okay, so here's the retrofit quests, level 28. Here is where you turn in parts and other things, sometimes even as much as like A-Rank Mechs or SSS rank mech parts, stuff like that. You turn that stuff in, and you get these retrofit points. You need the retrofit points in order to retrofit your mechs, and that's something that is very, very strong. It turns mediocre mechs into amazing mechs. So hey, we got 2 keys. Nice. So we can open up 2 of these. Awesome. We got another key, so we can open up another one. We got some shards. Okay, so none of that was really that good. There's a purple part. We're almost done here. These are worth getting. That's good. So now I can come into my parts. Sorry, wrong section. Parts. And let's go ahead and create some space, because we are running out of space constantly. It's difficult to tell how you upgrade your space, but you come up here to the top right corner. There's a plus mark. You click on that, and that is how you upgrade your space. I'm going to upgrade 10 slots for 100 diamonds. Absolutely worth it, guys. Totally worth it. You want to finish those retrofit quests as soon as you possibly can, as much as you possibly can, so that you can get those retrofit points. Trust me, it is the end game. Retrofitting your mechs is where the end game is at. That's how you get access to the best units. I need to check the beginner missions, because there is some beginner missions for pulling on the friendship banner. Let me see. Yeah, I don't have anything like that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and pull on the mid-market banner, because I need A-Rank Mechs, and you have a good chance of getting A-Rank Mechs from this. Here we go. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, that was not a good A-Rank, though. Not a good A-Rank. Not looking good, guys. Not a good A-Rank. Ah, bad luck. Not good luck. Okay, so I need to unlock two more of those purple chests. Here's a good thing you can do when you go to event stores. You go to the arena shop. I have 940 points from the last time we were in arena. You want to do this every single day. Okay, every single day, come here and buy a purple chest key. You can only do it once a day. That is one thing that you want to spend your arena points on every single day, getting those purple chest keys. You can also do that once you are in a corp. Once you're in a corp, you can also use your corp points to buy purple keys, which is also worth it. So let's go ahead and do this. What did we get? Hard to say. Ordinary shell. That sounds kind of familiar. Where is it? Here we go. Normal attack. Excellent. So for mechs that have a lot of normal attack, this would be an excellent part to use. Okay. This is good. This is good. Transmission core, melee damage, and mech ability cooldown. The mech's ability cooldown is actually the most important part of this, and it's very, very, very good. Sometimes a mech does more damage with its abilities than it does its weapons. Sometimes a mech abilities is so important to how it does damage and survives on the battlefield. So the mech ability cooldown is very good. That's an amazing part. So lucky. Can't believe I got that. Okay. Tell you what. What else can we do? All right. It might be time to do an event, or not event, a side quest. Might be time to do a side quest to unlock some upgrade potential. I don't really have very many good A-Rank mechs, unfortunately. So I'm going to get rid of all of our C and B grade mechs. And then I'm also going to get rid of all of our A grade mechs, but I'm going to come up here and make sure I'm not getting rid of something I want. I'm going to keep the Odysseus. The Odysseus is a really good mech. I picked up the Odysseus from the, what was it? The black market. I'm not sure if I did that on camera or not, but the Odysseus is good. I'm going to keep that mech for a tank. And I'm going to keep these two mechs just for whoever wants to get this account when I'm done with it. And I think that's it for now. Okay. And let's go ahead and lock the Odysseus, and I'm going to definitely use that right away. Lock the Raven, so you can build yourself an Albatross later if you guys want, whoever gets this account. Okay, so who are we going to replace, guys? I kind of want to keep the Seagull still. I don't have enough resources to fully upgrade a bunch of A ranks. I don't think so anyways. I kind of want to replace the Congo. The Congo is past its usefulness, I think. Okay, we are upgrading the Odysseus instead. And I'm going to actually fully upgrade the Odysseus if I can, because I need a solid tank. And so I'm going to upgrade everything. This is important. Damage taken from a single attack does not exceed 5% of the maximum HP. That is an excellent mech ability. Okay, we're going to upgrade the HP. And then here we're going to get ourselves a weapon. Magnetic Mines, that's nice. It does EM damage and locks up enemies with paralysis. The melee imprisonment is actually a very strong skill and helps you lock down enemy bosses. It like throws out a net and it locks down the enemy for a little bit if they're not immune to crowd control. Critical strike, he jumps up and like swings the sword down, does good damage. And here we go. Heals 1.2% HP per second. So that plus not taking more than 5% of the maximum HP per attack is what makes this tank, what makes this A rank tank so good. Okay, so that's fully upgraded. Do we have enough to fully upgrade our other units? Let's look at the heavily armored Rakshasa. Yes, we can upgrade our heavy armored Rakshasa. That's fully finished. Let's take a look at our Achilles. Nope, we don't have enough to upgrade the Achilles. So it's debatable what I would get next. I would probably get the chassis next for the Achilles. This also has healing. Okay, so this has firm armor and self-healing, but it's not melee. So it doesn't get focused by the enemy as much because it's not melee. So this healing, this tank and this healing is the same exact setup that the Odysseus has. However, because it's not melee, the Achilles doesn't get as much use out of the tank stats as the Odysseus does. I mean, it's still useful. It still makes it one of the better A-rank mechs, but the Odysseus is going to get more use out of it than the Achilles because the Odysseus is on the front lines. Okay, so Bora, you are getting switched out, girl. We're switching out for the Odysseus. I'm gonna make you a tank. Okay, so I like Bora's. Hold on, what to do? Bora has. Let's just look at their skills, guys. We just need to make sure we're gonna put the right melee pilot. Okay, so no, I don't want her to be in the melee spot. He would be decent in the melee spot because in story mode, he heals himself for every unit that dies. He doesn't even have to be the person who gets the last hit. As long as he dies on the battlefield and he was targeting it, then he heals. So as a melee unit, he's actually pretty good. But his ultimate would be wasted on a melee mech, unless it's a really strong melee mech with lots of offensive potential. However, she has this skill. Teleports upon taking melee attack and leaves a clone on a 10-second cooldown, which we are going to put skill points into. Okay, so I'm going to put this up, try to get this. So she's good for a melee mech because of that skill right here. Also, we're going to use this skill right here, try and increase her stats. It's part of what makes her so good. Alright, so here we have Guinevere. This is what makes Guinevere decent in a melee mech as a tank. She has an ability that you want her to be destroyed first or like second in your team. You don't want her to die last. You want her to die first or second, because when she's died, she generates a large shield and heals her entire team for 25%. So when she dies, it provides some utility for the team. Then she gains SP for the whole team when in battle. Okay. Then up here, she makes a good melee focused build also because she has 18% chance for all attacks, front, flank, and back. So that makes her a decent tank. Also, she increases everyone's defense when she uses her ultimate. So if she's being focused, she's going to get her ultimate quicker. She'll get her heal off. When she dies, she gets her heal off. So she makes a good melee focused as well. But I'm going to actually put her, Arashi, in the tank mech just because I want to see how she does. I'm curious. I've never had Arashi as a pilot before, so I'm really enjoying the idea of using her in that spot. Bora has increased stats, right? We looked up that. All these stats right here are increased by her reaction. They share a certain percentage of the reaction stats. So she's going to be more accurate with her attack. So she's good in a mid and ranged mech that's going to be doing more damage. So her stats are going to help her do more damage. Okay, so that'll do. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade the items on these mechs. Actually, I may not need to. I may need to do the side event quest first and then come back and fully upgrade. We'll have a lot more materials to upgrade with after I'm done with what I'm about to do. And then we'll have more items as well to put on these mechs. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to use this team that I've upgraded a little bit, and I'm going to do something very special. Okay, so you come down here, events and quests, and you go to permanent quest, okay? And you do the witch and the watermelon. The witch and the watermelon gives you amazing rewards, some of the best rewards in the game for a new player. And I'll just give you an example right here. Just for completing this the first time, I get a free mech. Okay, I also get 500 primal energy core, just like that. There's a lot of missions in this. They all give you amazing rewards. You end up getting 3 mechs out of it, plus stuff you can spend at an event store and get more stuff, plus several thousand primal energy core. So I'm going to come back after I finish this side quest and show you guys everything we got. We're going to spend our points, and we'll just go from there. Okay, here we are. I finished that side quest. Let's go ahead and see what we got. But first, we go to the cafe. Event, I believe. No, it's a watermelon store. So I have 179 to spend. Let's go ahead and get the watermelon chest, which contains a lot of items that we want. And it's part of the whole reason I just did this. Then we can either pull for more mechs, which is a great way to get more A-Rank Mechs. I think I'm going to do that, and then spend the rest on some upgrade materials. Okay, so let's go to our items. And we have 2 chests to open. They both have items that we can use to equip our mechs. Look at all these blue items. Really nice. Really nice items. Okay, here we go. Same thing. It's going to really improve our team. We should be able to continue the story with no problems. Let's try and get some more A-Rank Mechs, see if we can get something good. Okay, nothing so far. Nothing. Oh man, that's disappointing. Okay. Hey, we can compound a Tsukikaze through doing the beginner's quests. Okay. So let's go ahead and save that for whoever's going to use this account after. Here we go. And we're going to disassemble all the stuff we don't care about. It's going to be all the B ranks and then the A ranks. Okay, so also as part of that side quest, you get 2 watermelon shooters and a watermelon ripper. The watermelon ripper is melee, and the watermelon shooters are obviously ranged. So the special thing about the watermelon mechs is they don't require duplicates. So let me say that one more time. They are just like the Vasago, and they do not require duplicates. Okay, so we don't need this extra shooter. So the reason they give you extras, you may be wondering, why do they give you extra shooters? Why can I build several extra watermelon shooter mechs? You know, from the resources that we just looked at from the events shop, if you grind out those watermelon points, you can develop several more of these. Why do they give you so many? Well, the reason why is because if you're having trouble in the marketplace or you're a free-to-play player and you want S-rank mechs that are going to be stronger than a lot of A-rank mechs that you can get access to, um, these are really good, strong S-rank mechs that don't require dupes. So you can build a full team of watermelon mechs if you want. So that is really good for a free-to-play player, and that's going to be in another video, but that's really good information. But that being said, I don't ever really plan on using S-rank mechs in this A-rank challenge, so I don't need them. But I do think I will keep one copy of each for anyone who plans to use this account, just in case they actually want to use the watermelon mechs. Because once you get rid of them, you can't get them back. That's the only way you can get them. Once you've built them from the shop, right, from here, looks like you can get 90 shards. And so it takes 30 shards, so you can build 3 watermelon shooters. Okay? You can build 3 watermelon shooters. And then over here, you can build the Dark Ripper. And you can actually build 4 Dark Rippers by farming this other side story. And you can also get some skins. In my opinion, the best skins in the entire game. So, anyways, let's see. Treasure trove. Don't know what's inside that. But you can get 999 of them. So I'm guessing it's actually the fruits. And if we look at the fruits, all the fruits are affection gifts, right? Which is great for increasing affection with your pilots. So it looks like it's going to be a box full of affection gifts, if I had to make my guess. So you can make Dark Rippers. And I don't think the Dark Ripper requires duplicates either. Otherwise, you would get 6. It takes 6 copies to make a full 9 rank maxed out mech. So you would need 6 copies of the Dark Ripper in order to make it maxed. So I don't think these require dupes because they only give you 4. So it's just like the watermelon shooter. They give you more copies than you need just in case you want to make a full team of them. You know, it's a great gift for free-to-play players. Also, for every one you disassemble, you get a lot of resources to build your other mechs with. So even if you don't want to use this, you can use these shards, build these, and then disassemble them for great upgrade materials. So anyways, these are great events to do if you're having trouble with progression. As soon as you hit that wall in the story and you need a stronger team, go do those side quests. Get these watermelon mechs. They don't require dupes. Use them or disassemble them. But either way, that is going to be great. Let's check our items. Anything else that we need to get? I think we're good. Look at all these. I got 3,500 primal energy core from doing that side quest. And then super alloy. Almost 8,000 super alloy. Which means I can actually go shopping here at the black market. Let's go over here and see if there's anything good. We can refresh as much as we want now. Lots to spend. Okay. Not really seeing much. There's a quest for the primal energy core I mentioned already. But since I don't have that quest at the moment, I'm not going to buy these because it's not a good idea to buy them unless you're doing that quest. After you're done with that quest, I don't recommend buying these with the super alloy. Man, I really need a good A rank. Come on, game. Prussian Blue Star, that is a decent mech. If I was a new player and I was using S-Rank Mechs and I had another one of these already, it might be worth getting a second copy. It's a decent A-Rank Mech, or sorry, S-Rank Mech, and you can get the full thing. Not have to worry about shards. You can just buy the full thing from the black market. It's good to get copies of this because it is a good sniper mech. It does ice damage and beam damage. Oh, I think it does beam damage. Hold on. Yeah, EM damage, actually. So it does paralysis damage, EM, and then ice damage as well. So really good for multiple things, not just doing pure damage, but also doing a little bit of utility, crowd control against the enemy. But yeah, this is a great sniper mech. That massive positron rifle is a very powerful weapon. 920 damage before modifiers per shot on a 5-second cooldown. So yeah, it's a pretty strong mech. That being said, there's better mechs, but if you build it right with the right pilot, of course, it would absolutely tear through the enemy. So I'm not going to get that because, again, this is an A-Rank challenge. So I'm going to pass that right up. Another good mech to keep an eye out for. You might not think this is the case because it's a tank, but you can retrofit this. When you retrofit this, it becomes an amazing mech. So unfortunately, that means it's not usable right now in its tank form. And you get 6 copies of this. And they're basically all unusable until you combine them all into a max 9, rank 9 mech, and then you go to the retrofit tab and you retrofit it. So this is more of an end game thing. Maxing this out and then retrofitting it isn't something you're going to want to do as a new player. So, anyways, but keep that in mind. It's a good idea to find out what you can retrofit and to go ahead and get those. Okay, that's a scarab. Not really interested in that, though. I'm going to stop re-rolling at 5. There's a Hellcat. Not really interested in that. Baihu. It's an okay mech. It's not that great. I'm not a huge fan of the pure melee mechs. The Brunhild is good, even though it's a melee mech, because the Brunhild has a lot of area damage going on all around it. Yeah, it can actually take out groups of enemies, do lots of damage, and it's a very aggressive AI. So melee mechs are best when they're very aggressive, and the Brunhild is a really good aggressive AI. Alright, so we only got 2 more. Ranger or a Lynx, no thank you. Galahad. I would definitely pick this up if I was not doing the A-Rank challenge. The Galahad is a great starting mech for new players. Unfortunately, to my knowledge, it does not have a retrofit. If you're trying to retrofit a mech that has the Knight system. So what makes this mech so good? There's a lot of things about this mech that are good, but what makes it better than most is the Knight system. Okay, this ability right here. When, if you want to get a mech that's arguably as good, if not better, than the Galahad, and also can be retrofitted, which makes it even better, then you want the Lancelot, the triple S version of the Galahad. So the Lancelot is better than the Galahad, but only when you can retrofit it. Otherwise, the Galahad does just great. The Galahad is a fantastic mech. Okay. A Sin. If you're thinking long game, right? If you're going to be playing this game for a long time, then it is worth picking up this mech. Because this, plus 2 of its brothers, the Sin 2... Hold on, we can look up. It'll probably tell us in here. Where? Sin 3 needs both Sin 1 and Sin 2 plus 50Z. Okay, so this plus its brother Sin 2 you can combine in development along with Super Alloy Z to get the Sin 3. And the Sin 3 is one of the best mechs in the game. The Sin 3 retrofit, of which there's several different retrofits for it, is arguably some of the best mechs in the game. So once you can go to retrofit and start taking a look at those, let me show you what I'm talking about here. Retrofit. Can't take a look at them until level 28. Once you can come here, you can start looking at the retrofits available and really start drooling over some of the more awesome stuff that's available to you at in-game. The really cool mechs that you can't get starting out. Okay, so let's see. Unfortunately, there was no A-Rank Mechs. I'm going to keep looking, guys. I want a good A-Rank mech. Please give me something. Nothing. 2 more chances. Still nothing. Last chance. Windrunner. It's okay. It's not worth buying and using. Hercules, good mech, but I think I've already got one, don't I? No, I do not have a Hercules. Okay, I'm picking that up. Hercules is a good mech, especially with the right pilot. So what makes the Hercules good is it has identical weapons. So if you get the right pilot or the right items, you can fire this mech's weapons in a group, therefore making it better at damage. Because if you give it a reload, it has a fast reload, and it can just fire these weapons really quick. All right, here we go with another tip. If you're thinking about building a mech, but you don't have the resources to build the mech and test it, but you want to know if it's worth putting your resources into, you can see what the mech is like when it has all these upgrades, right? Or let's say you're upgrading and you don't know which upgrade to get. Should I get the weapon? Should I get the chassis ability? Should I get the up ability down here? Which one is the best? What do I get? And you don't know, then here is what you do. If you own the mech, it's easier to do this if you own the mech. All right, so you come down here to Pedia, okay? And within Pedia, you go to Mecha. Come on. Let's see if I have any rewards. Oh, look at all these rewards I got. Nice. If you come here into rewards, every mech you collect gives you rewards. Sometimes it doesn't show up with a little red dot, so sometimes you just have to come here and check it yourself. But anyways, hey, we got some stuff. We got 300 of these now. I can do another pool. Give me a nice A-Rank Mech. Come on, please. I am desperate. Let's see. Nope. That's a good S-Rank Mech, by the way. That's worth building. Nope, can't do it. It's like I thought. This is just... yeah, nothing. Okay. So go to Pedia. Not the right thing here. Pedia. And then go to Mecha. That's where I was already. And then if you own the mech, okay, you can come here and you can test it. Which one do I want to test? I want to test the Hercules. So I'm not sure if it's worth getting the chassis. Look, this is another mech that's very tinky. It has firm armor and heals per second. So you can build a very tinky team with all these A-Rank mechs that have this self-healing and tinkiness. All right, so let's go ahead and test this. You come here in the Pedia and you test it, and it's going to give you a version of this mech that's fully unlocked. All the abilities, all the weapons, fully unlocked. Right? And all this is doing is testing the weapons, all right? Giving you an idea of the weapons, but you're not really seeing all the abilities necessarily, right? So you can come in here, click Open Fire. Go to Menu, click Open Fire, and all of a sudden they're fighting back. And now if you're wanting to check defensive abilities, right, you can check to see how long it lasts. So you can time it. All right, so you're checking the damage. Down here it's showing the DPS, and you're seeing how long it survives when taking fire from the enemy. And it's about to die. There we go. Okay. So it may not seem like a strong mech, but it is tanky, right? And that's really good. In addition to the fact when you get the right items or pilots, like I said, they fire these at the same time in 2 different weapon groups. So that makes it pretty strong. If you're going here to reviews and you see every single one of these has a comment. Let's see. At least one. Let's see if it shows up. Just click top comment. Not seeing it. Okay, well, random. You may have seen this type of comment before for another mech, but I'm not seeing it for this one. Okay, so a lot of people posted comments. It's kind of hidden the good ones, I guess. Let's go take a look at a different mech. Come on. I clicked on it. It's just taking a while. Let's go to heavily armored Vexasha. I already own this, right? And it's already fully upgraded. So, but you can come here and take a look. See what missile drones? What are the beam floating claw drones? Oh, that's what they do. Okay, so I like this mech. That's worth using. So that's how you can sort of tell without having to upgrade it yourself to see if it's any good or not. You come to the Pedia, go to the mechs, and you go to test, and you can see it in action, fully upgraded. All right, so here we go. It gives you an example of DPS. At default, with no items, it tests at 789 DPS. So if we did the test and we waited a while, we would get about the same number, 789. So somebody else did this test already, and you can just browse through the comments without doing it yourself to find out how much DPS it does. Max 2.7k at 9-star without parts. Uses flamethrower in test, but not combat. That's not true. You've already seen it uses the flamethrower a lot in combat with me. With mine. Okay, so let's see. There might be another example. of a comment like that where it talks about the DPS. There we go. This is exactly the comment I'm looking for. So this is the DPS that you'll get from this test. And then with 5 lives. So it died, I guess, 4 times or 5 times. And that was over 2 minutes and 9 seconds. So it's giving you an example of how tanky it is and how much damage it does by this test. And so almost all of these mechs are going to have a comment like that. So if you don't want to do the test yourself, you can just look at that comment and it gives you an idea of how much damage it does, right? How long it lives, how tanky it is, that kind of thing. So if you want to know how good a mech is without building it, go to the Pedia, and that's how you decide what to build. Okay, so we're going to save that. That's a good mech. Also, it develops into something else, so it's part of a development recipe. You combine this with Tristan, I believe, to develop a Lancelot. I already talked about the Lancelot. Really good mech. So yeah, we don't use the S-Rank Mechs, but I do think... Let's upgrade the Achilles a little bit more and then see how much resources we have after we upgrade the Achilles. We might use the Hercules. I would rather buy these other two before I buy Leap Evasion. Leap Evasion does not seem that useful for me. We're going to upgrade the HP. Leap Evasion is going to be good. It'll help you evade certain damage. It's an evasion ability, as it, it's in the name. So I have 3 A-Rank Mechs fully upgraded, guys. That's not bad. Okay, so I think I have enough resources left to upgrade an A-Rank Mech pretty good. We're going to go here. We're going to restore, get those resources back for the Seagull, and we're going to switch out the Seagull. And the reason why is this right here. The Seagull heals 100%, or sorry, 1% HP for all allies per second. However, this effect cannot be stacked with other per second recovery effects. So if we look at our A-Rank Mechs right now, this one heals 1.2% HP per second, and this one heals 1.2% HP per second. If we use the Hercules, it will also have the 1.2% HP per second heal. So the only one that would benefit from the Seagull is this one right here. It doesn't have the healing. But, we already know Beckus has self-healing in his kit. Look at this skill right here. Activates when enemy has been killed, and he heals 15% up to 25% of the HP. So for every enemy that dies in story mode, he gets HP, and so he naturally heals. So honestly, the healing per second is useful, but not necessary for him. So the Seagull has outlived its usefulness because it's not affecting these two people anymore. They have their own healing. They don't need the Seagull. So we're going to replace the Seagull. And I wish I had a better mech than the Hercules, but the Hercules will have to do. I'm not really seeing any other good options. The Congo, I could go back to using the Congo, but I would rather have the self-healing and the tankiness of the Hercules. Just going to stay alive longer and just be a lot more effective. Okay, so we're going to upgrade this thing as much as we can. Let's go ahead and get the weapon. You know how it goes. You go to 6 star and you get the weapon on the 6th star. Now for melee mechs, this is not always the case. For melee mechs, sometimes you want the ability before the weapon. And in certain situations like the Galahad, you want the Night System ability instead of... But Leap Evasion? Not that useful. I'd rather have the other weapon. So in most cases, the weapon's going to be better, but for some, the ability's going to be better. So here we're going to get the heal. Good thing we had enough. We now have healing. And we don't have enough to get more. But next we'll get the armor, and last we will get Leap Evasion. Okay, so that'll do it. We're going to need to put new items on this mech because it has a whole different set of weapons than the Seagull had. Also, we need to change the pilot. I think Surui is the pilot we want because she has, right here, Akimbo. So when she hits level 24, she will fire with 2 identical weapons at the same time. So she is the pilot that you get for free that makes the Hercules a decent mech choice. If you aren't using her as pilot, then the Hercules is not a good mech to use. You gotta be using a pilot that has Akimbo or an item that has Akimbo and lets you use these items or these weapons in weapon groups. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. Okay, so we're gonna switch. That's right, we've got all these new items now. I would normally do the pause and then just let you guys watch thing, but I'll run you through the whole process just because. Okay, so question number one is going to be, who do we put our most valuable item on? None of these mechs are... Actually, hold on. This one is melee. And it has a good ability. Critical strike. So with the critical strike and with the linear evasion, with the shield block and the shock slash, shield tackle, triple slash, right? So these abilities, they're going to have a lower cooldown time with that item. The mech's ability cooldown is reduced. So this is actually good for her. Also because it increases melee damage, and it makes sense because she is the only melee mech in our group. The rest of these are ranged. So let's put our most powerful item that we have on the one that makes sense. Now that that's decided, we'll start from the left. And Beckus is our favorite pilot. He's doing the most damage with our best ranged unit. So we're going to load him up with as much damage as possible. Beckus's job is to do damage. So let's help him do that, okay? You come here and you look for stuff that's going to help him do damage. You look at your weapon types. He's doing normal damage. These are not good weapons, so you don't really need to worry about them. If you want to boost the fire damage and the beam damage, you can. It's not a bad choice. Drone rapid fire. Okay, so his main ability for doing damage is going to be enhancing the beam damage that he does. Also, Beckus's ability where he reloads his weapons with his ultimate and then sends out more drones to do more beam damage. It means this right here is not a bad choice, right? Because you've got beam and fire damage. So you're not boosting his normal damage, but most of his damage is actually coming from his flamethrower and his beam drones anyway. So this is a good choice for him. However, first, second, and third weapon. Let's take a look. Boom. Okay. Look at that. First, second, third weapon. That's all we care about. And I think the percentage is higher. So, yeah. 18% as opposed to 15. Also, let's look at the 0.31. Okay, that's the modifier. 0.37. So the percentage from this is going to be much better than this. They're both literally enhancing the same weapons because the first three weapons is fire and beam. So why not use this instead and get a lot more for it, right? You're going to get a lot better percentages, and it's just going to help out a lot more by using this. But to make sure, to make sure that your first, second, and third weapons are the ones being enhanced, and those are what you want, you have to go to test. So here, not in the Pedia, but in your own mech that you're working on in your team, you can go and you can test your builds. So come in here, and you can test the effectiveness of your build, and you can look which of your weapons are first. And it goes from bottom to the top. Heavy flamethrower is first. Floating claw drone and floating craw drone are 2 and 3. So this is easier to verify as well. This is 25% boosted for the head cannon and shield dart, as you can see. This is no boost on the flamethrower and 4% boost on the floating claw drones. So let's go back. We're going to do a quick little test to make sure our theory is correct, right? Otherwise, to be sure you're boosting the right weapons, you want to use this one, just because you know you're boosting for sure fire and beam, and that's going to get the result you want. So if you're not sure if this is boosting the right weapon groups, go ahead and equip it, come back here to test, and this is a good way to figure out if your theory is valid. Look at that. The percentages went up by the correct amount. So that item does boost the weapons that we want. So we're going to go ahead and use it. It's going to be perfect. Okay, so we made sure that the item is perfect for us. Let's go ahead and fully enhance it. We are level 20. Perfect. Okay. And that's going to be great. Look at that. 25% more damage just from that one item. All right, melee damage. That's going to help you know who over here. We're going to give the melee damage. This is also a good item because it reduces the enemy's attack. This is good against bosses so that you live longer. Reducing the enemy's attack is going to be very helpful against bosses. Okay, so normal and explosive. That doesn't really help us. I think that's going to help Hercules more. I think Hercules has normal and explosive. So for Beckus, we're going to look for something else. Main armament only helps his flamethrower. It does not help his drones. This is normal attack. Okay, so I'm not really seeing anything for the drones yet. I don't know if this will work. Now, his drones are missile weapons, technically, right? So there's a chance that this will work. Okay, so I got to test it, however. A flash grenade. This is one of the best items in the entire game. I don't think there's a blue weapon that does it, and I don't think there's a purple weapon that does it. This green item is the only weapon that gives a confusion effect on such a short cooldown. This green item is ridiculously powerful. Okay, so let's go ahead and test it. I want to make sure that the claw drones... it's technically missiles, so it doesn't look like they work. Okay, so the flamethrower does trigger the confusion effect, but the drones do not. Now, technically, that's going to be happening pretty often. Basically, every time he uses his flamethrower, he's going to trigger the confusion effect. That's not a bad thing. That's still useful. But it's not as good as if the missiles were going to trigger it. So, unfortunately, I'm not sure it's worth using for him. Let's keep looking for different options. EM attack, no. Normal attack, no. Range damage, maybe. But like I said, I don't want to interrupt his other abilities with giving him something else to worry about. Shotgun, no. No, it does not apply to beam weapons. It's not going to help our drones. Remember what I said about the difficulty in discovering whether or not it's boosting the right weapons? We can test that real quick. So let's go ahead and equip it. So we should be seeing a percentage of about 11%, right? So if you come here, it does not tell you what rank of weapons you have. Even if you click on it, it still doesn't tell you what rank your weapons are. It's totally unhelpful, guys. It's very frustrating using those weapons, but there's quite a few of these items in the game that boost rank weapons. So you come here, and this is the only way to tell. You come to your test, and it does not increase them. So I don't have any rank 2 or 3 weapons. My weapons must be different ranks. So unfortunately, this item is useless for me. Did not boost a single weapon for me. None of my weapons are rank 2 or 3 category. So not helpful. This is good. This boosts my beam attack for my drones, but that's all it does. It does not impact any of the other weapons. It might be worth using because honestly, I don't really think I have any other beam weapons. This one might be beam. No, this is... yeah, it is. Okay, so I've got beam weapons and I've got explosive weapons for the Hercules. But here for the Rakshasa, don't know, guys. Should I boost my claw drones with the beam weapons here, or should I give it a confusion effect? So if I am looking for missile weapons, this has missiles, and the missiles are up pretty often. Technically, right? So I would get more out of the flash grenade by putting it on the Achilles because the missiles would be proccing the confusion effect more often. However, if you recall, the missiles are very inaccurate and miss a lot, and so I countered that by increasing my missiles guidance with the seeker item. So I don't want to give that up. What good is a missile that would proc confusion if the missile can't hit? So I unfortunately can't equip this. That would make the Achilles much worse than it is. So I gotta keep the seeker on the Achilles. So it looks like... oh, guys. I'm gonna have to give the flash grenade to Beckus. It's a shame because I'm looking for more damage. That's a shame. Alright, so let's go ahead. You know what? Normally I would enhance this. Not for the damage, because the damage isn't really that great with the 0.4% modifier, 1.4 modifier. Sorry, 0.14 modifier. So the damage is not really going to increase that much from enhancing it. However, this would come into effect more often. But as you saw, his flamethrower is not going to be going out every 3 seconds. So I don't really get much by increasing this for him. I'm just looking for a new item to replace this on the Rakshasa, and I'll use a different item later. But for now, every time he uses his flamethrower, he is going to cause confusion, which is good. Alright, so here, this is good. Unfortunately, it does lower reload, but the increased damage is worth it. Okay, so now we're at 4.62% slower reload, but the range damage is increased by almost 19%. Definitely worth it. Alright, so here's the other options. Okay, here's our tank options. What do we want on the Rakshasa? I don't really care about maneuverability on him that much. He doesn't necessarily need it. But then again, hold on. You know, he might actually benefit from the maneuverability. Because he's mid-range, if you recall, the beam drones and the flamethrower need him to be in close range to benefit. Otherwise, the flamethrower isn't long enough range and it just misses. So he would benefit from having increased movement speed and steering sensitivity, because then he could stay within the proper range more often. So I'm actually going to give him the light armor. And I am going to enhance it because it has a decent modifier. And we are up to plus 8.87% HP. It doesn't really increase his damage, but theoretically it does help him to do damage better because... Hold on. Interesting. Who do we want? Bora. I think I want Bora to get her ultimate off as soon as possible, so she's going to be using that. Alright, so anyways, we're looking for a tank item for him. I could put the blue item on, which is going to make him a lot more resistant to burn, but I think you get hit by beam damage more often than you do fire damage. So I'm going to give him the beam damage instead, because I honestly think that beam damage is more common than fire damage. Fire damage is, I think, a lot more rare. Okay, so here we go with her. I need to make her as tanky as possible. Because she needs to survive. She's the only melee person. She's going to be taking a lot of aggro for the team, and the goal is to make her as tanky as I possibly can. So here we go. This is nice with 15% chance to block from the front, but this is a blue item that boosts HP by a lot more and gives you a decent chance to block attacks from the flank. Plus, if you enhance it, it goes up. See, almost 9% chance to block attacks on the flank, and that's going to go up as we get higher in level. And the HP is boosted quite a bit more. So I'd rather have this than the bumper. The bumper is a great item though. But anyway, so look, we're going to go ahead and keep this on her. Try and land that attack down on the enemy. It's going to be really nice. This is incredible. Nice. So we're just increasing her melee damage. That ability cooldown stays the same. Here we go with a 30% chance to block attacks from the sides, plus secondary armaments and drone damage received is reduced. However, is that the best item to tank with? No. This is the best item to tank with, so we're going to equip this. Watch what happens when we enhance it. The modifiers are a bit low, but they both go up, not just one. So we're reducing all damage received on the front, upper body, and turrets by 10%. Also an HP boost, so very good for tanking. This is great. 25% chance to block attacks from the front, and the effect can stack. So we've got multiple blocking items. She's going to be a lot tankier than she was before. Also, she's going to do a lot more damage than she did before. So, excellent. Really good. Really good stats. Let's see if we can see the stats with the gear. Does it show it? No. It'll show it if you go into the test. Let's go ahead and give her a test with her new gear setup. Let's see, here we go. HP is 5768. So instead of 4800, we have almost 1,000 more HP on her. Alright, so let's watch her damage with that boost to melee damage that she's got. Alright. Don't attack the tank. Come on, attack this thing. The tank has a knockback effect. Whenever you attack it with melee, it has a chance to knock you down. Okay, so about 500 DPS. Not the best, but I guarantee it's a lot better than it was before. Plus, as you can watch her abilities here, they are coming up a lot more often because of that purple item that we got. So, yeah. Plus, she's going to be a lot tankier. Let's see how long she survives. She's got the firm armor. She's got the healing per second. Plus all those tank items that we put on her. She's got a full tank build. Lots of block. Lots of extra HP. Come on, girl. Oh, look at that. See the aura that shows up around her, like the blue shield whenever they fire on her? That's her blocking attacks. Yeah, it showed up again. Nice. Look, she's hardly taken any damage. And you can see it's going up slightly. She's healing. Oh, so much tankier. So already, guys, we're only level 20, and already our A-Rank Mech is looking a lot better than it did before. And all we did was progress into the main story to chapter 11, and then do a side quest. That's all we've done. So, alright, so this is him fully. If we can test him real quick, we can see what he does against the bots. He's not built tanky, so his main goal is to do damage, so I don't really want to open fire. I'm just testing his damage. Okay, so there was the confusion effect. There's better items for him, but I mean, that's going to do it for now. That'll work. Alright, so there's some lag going on. I might have to try and fix that. Not sure why. It might be because I'm using an emulator. I don't really experience this lag on my phone. Okay, so about 1,000. That's actually kind of on the low side. If this was a Gacha modified, which is the better A-Rank mech for range damage, then we'd be getting a lot higher than 1,000 DPS. But to be honest, it's not bad. Climbing up to 1,100 now. Look at all those drones. He had about like 5 or 6 drones around him at one time. It's pretty good. Also, that confusion effect is actually going to come in handy when you're fighting against bosses. They'll be going to wind up a big attack on you, and all of a sudden he lands a confusion, and they're like, what? And they just stop. So it's great. All right, so now we're going to build the Achilles. What have we got left? We've got this. Ice, fire, EM, beam, and explosive, and acid. What does the Achilles have? I feel like the Achilles is going to do more damage than the Hercules. Because we are not level 24. And so Surui, this pilot, does not have akimbo yet. So she's not firing these weapons in akimbo mode. So because we don't have access to that yet, the Hercules is not going to be doing nearly as much damage as it will at that point. So I'm actually going to give her our best damage items. There we go. Okay, she's going to keep the Seeker, and we already discussed why that's good for the Achilles. The missiles don't have good guidance, so I need to boost that with the Seeker. She needs reload. Reload is really good for her. Let's go ahead and keep that on her. She's going to be doing good damage. We'll just do a straight upgrade. Might as well give her the ability to have an HP shield. Alright, so the reason I'm giving this to Bora is because her ultimate reduces attack and movement speed of the entire enemy team by 50%. So it makes sense for her to get her ultimate off as soon as possible in the fight. It's going to be a huge, huge difference. So I'm giving her this ability, which everyone gets as a new player. You all get this for free. As I think it's a reward for the novice missions. But anyways, go ahead and give this to the person that's going to make the biggest difference in the fight with their ultimate. So 25% SP at the start of the battle. Hopefully she'll use her ability and totally wipe out the enemy team. Alright, so Hercules does EM damage, paralysis damage, right? No, it's beam damage, sorry. It's beam damage and explosive. Alright, so we don't have any blue items left. This is not a good ranged weapon version. Weapons reload faster, that's not bad. Burst attack. Are any of my weapons burst weapons? Yes. Okay, so burst weapons, both of these. And that might be good. So I can do all weapons reload faster, or I can do burst magazine +1. I don't like the mines, so I really only want to boost her main weapons anyways. Oh my gosh, remember when I said how good the switching between weapons and abilities was? Look at that. I just got really lucky with that. Yeah, this is going to boost all my stats. Now, this is deceptive. You might think boosting pilot stats, what good is that? Well, you do a percentage more damage and you're a percentage more accurate based on your stats. So your pilot stats, as these stats go up right here, she does more damage and she's more accurate and more evasive. So overall, boosting her stats is way more helpful than you might think. In fact, I think I'd rather boost her stats It's going to make her evade better. It's going to make her hit better. It's just going to make her better overall. I'm going to give her that. Now, if I had a better option, I'd probably use the better option instead. But this is not a bad item. Pilot stats by 35. That's actually really good. So it's going to help her quite a bit. Okay, so we've got main, right? All 4 are main armament. So any main armament items you have are going to be great for her. This is main armament. Unfortunately, that's not good, and neither is that for her because she does beam weapons. But everything she has is main armament, so this is going to be great for her. It's going to boost all 4 of her weapons because they're all that type. So now let's go down here. No, this only happens once per battle. It reloads a magazine when a weapon's ammunition is empty, but it only happens once per battle, so that's not very good. This is probably better. Impenetrable beam attack. Okay. These are beam attacks, and they are impenetrable. But I don't know if it's going to work, because it's not really like a laser. It's a blaster. So because I'm not sure it's going to work, I have to test it. How do we do that, guys? We equip it, and then we go to test. If it refracts onto the other targets, we know it works. And if it does, that would be awesome. Definitely keeping it. Oh my gosh, it works. You're kidding me. That's huge. Oh, wow. Okay, so it totally works. That is awesome. This mech just got a lot better than it was before. This just got really good. Unfortunately, the modifier is terrible and it starts at 3%, so it doesn't make sense to enhance this. But still, that's pretty good. What now? This is already enhanced a little bit, and it does increase blocking on the flank. This, however, is a better percentage-based damage reduction. So I think I'm going to use this. We're going to enhance this, and it's going to do a lot more for us. All elements are reduced by 16%. I think that's going to be better than a percentage to block from the flank, because that doesn't protect our front and it doesn't protect our back. So this, I think, is going to be better most of the time. This is going to be good fire damage reduction, but like I said, how often are we getting hit with fire? I don't really feel like it's that much. This is actually good. Okay, so we are boosting her stats, right? So we're boosting her stats. She's going to be a better pilot. She's going to be evading better, and she's going to be more accurate and do more damage. Also, switching between weapons and abilities is 10% faster. She's going to be more reactive in battle. Why not give her this? Increases her mech evasion. Okay, also makes her not as much of a target. I don't care about her being a target. Everyone on my team is tanky except for Beckus. So let's go ahead. That's not what I went to do. I wanted to enhance that item. Come on. All right, here we go. Because you can enhance the evasion with a pretty good modifier. 35 mech evasion. That's actually really good. So she should be tanky and she should do a decent amount of damage. I would test, but we've done a lot of testing. This video has gone well over an hour. I did not intend for it to take that long, but I do think showing you guys the full process of the upgrading, how to decide what's good, how to test it and verify your theories are correct, and build your team. Strategies, you want to have a melee mech, right? You got to have a melee mech taking the aggro for the team. And then you want some ranged mechs. Obviously, you want some utility, which is why this is good, because it inflicts confusion, right? So you got to have utility. You got to think about, all sorts of stuff. So hopefully the whole process that I just went through for upgrading the team helps you guys when you're making your own teams. And that's why I included it. So let's go ahead and go, and we're going to do that battle that you guys saw me fail in the story at the end of this episode. Oh, sorry, that's the side quest. That's the last thing I did, so. All right, so let's go to battle, main story, go back to chapter 11, and do this and see how much easier it is for us with our upgraded team. It's probably going to be night and day. Probably just going to wipe the floor with them. Here we go. Oh, wow. They're not taking hardly any damage at all. Beckus is taking the most damage out of the enemy team. Oh, wow. Team is doing so much better. Okay, so Bora just got off her full invasion on the boss. Totally interrupted the entire team. perfect timing on that. She just used her ultimate, caused some drones, or not drones, but copies to come up. Man, everyone is so tanky and they're healing so much all the time. Look at how healthy the team is. Awesome. Night and day difference. Huge difference. Let's look at the scoreboard and see if Beckus is still doing the most damage. No, Surui is doing the most damage. Okay, so that prism ability where her beam weapon is refracted to the enemy made a huge difference. I promise you, if I had not equipped that, she would not be doing nearly as much damage. But that one item alone, I think, made her so much better. So honestly, Beckus is my strongest ranged unit. He has like plus 50% or more, plus 65% damage to all of his weapons. So he should be like totally leading the pack in damage by a lot. But as you see, he got beat by Surui. So interesting how that works. I wonder if I gave all those damage items to Surui, if she'd be doing better than Beckus. It's worth looking into. And this is another thing that you can do when you're, making your teams. If you think you've got your team built correctly, but when you come here to the scoreboard and you see that your biggest damage dealer is not your biggest damage dealer, you're like, hold on a second. Maybe I should make my biggest damage dealer even better and give them all of his best items. So if the items do transfer, right? Because he's got elemental items. If the element items still impact her and still help her, try it out. Transfer those items over to her and see if her damage goes up even higher. Okay, so you can come in here after the battle and you can verify if your theories are correct, if your main DPS is doing the job they're supposed to, or if you need to switch it up. So what I'll do is I'll do more testing, right? I'll do some more, and we'll just do one more just to verify. Let's reveal. All right, so we'll do battle number 5, and we'll see if Surui leads the pack again. So this is how you build your team, guys. It's a lot of testing. So far, so good. Alright, Bora is taking some damage. Or not Bora, sorry, this is Bora. Odysseus. Which is Asari, right? Sahari? Can't remember her name. But she's the tank. She's supposed to be taking damage. That's why I gave her all the tank items. If I hadn't given her all the tank items, she'd be dead already. So that is part of the build working as intended. So that's nice. So she took the aggro for the team. Everyone stayed alive. That worked out really well. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. Surui is still leading. Beckus is still in 3rd. So it's looking like I need to reevaluate this. So for the next episode, I will, have made some changes possibly. I'll have put some better damage items from Beckus onto Surui and seeing if she's really my new damage leader, which is honestly hard to understand. The Hercules on paper does not have better weapon systems than the heavily armored Rakshasa. Those beam drones should be doing a lot more damage. So maybe it just depends on the fight. Maybe it depends on what he's fighting. Maybe against a boss where he's in the proper range more often, he'd be doing more. It's hard to say. But that will be the end of this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.